It's a rainy day in the middle of Michigan, but there is more than the average reason for another full house at Spartan Stadium. That would be the slashing, dashing Ohio State Buckeyes, 7-1 on the year, ranked 9th in the national polls. These are the Michigan State defenders, ranking 2nd in the Big Ten defense and 9th nationally. The Spartans are 5-2, ranked 20th in the national polls, and they're home today against the Buckeyes. It's a bit of a wintry, cool, wet afternoon at Spartan Stadium in East Lansing. Let's turn to our analyst Bob Greasy now and get some comments from you about the Michigan State defense, which may be the toughest Ohio State's looked at.
Well, I like this Ohio State offense. We've seen them a couple times this year. They have big players at wide receiver and big players in the backfield. The quarterback system is great. The #1 pass offense in the Big Ten, and I'm looking forward to they're on the road. It's a hostile crowd, a hostile environment. They got artificial turf. They haven't played on that a lot. And what they're going to see is a lot of press coverage on their wide receivers and a lot of pressure on their quarterbacks.
Should be a contest without question, and despite the rain and the promise of winter, we're going to have ourselves a hoot. And I mean, it covers all kinds of activities and all age brackets as we settle in for the Buckeyes and the Spartan.
Welcome to New York. I'm John Saunders. Out to your game in just a moment. Let's check some scores. Penn State beating up Northwestern 30-13. Curtis Enos has a touchdown run there. Michigan beats Minnesota. Brian Greasy with a touchdown pass, 24-3 that final. Purdue struggling with Iowa, 35-17 the score there. Tavian Banks' 16-yard touchdown run. Tennessee struggling as well against South Carolina. It's now 22-0, but it was close throughout much of the game. And Damian Craig, a fumble and 2 interceptions. Auburn is losing. We'll see at halftime. Right now, let's take you out to the games.
John, thank you very much. The Michigan State offense success begins with its offensive line and culminates in the running of Cedric Irvin, number 33. He is the workhorse of this offensive unit. All through the beginning of the season, his legs were the one with power that carried the running game to the middle of the line. You may even see him on the outside because he is also the team's leading wide receiver. If this team, Michigan State, is going to have success in defeating Ohio State this afternoon, not only will Cedric Irvin have to carry the load, but someone else, anyone else on that offensive side, Keith, is going to have to make some big plays.
Yeah, he needs some help. There's no question about it. The coach for the visiting team, of course, would be John Cooper, Ohio State, 10th year, 165-70-6 in his 21 seasons as a head coach, and 10 of those with the Buckeyes. Michigan State's head coach is Nick Saban. Came here in, this is his 4th season. He came over here from being the head coach at Toledo, where back in, 1992 it was, he had 9-2 record. He also coached here as an assistant. This is Chris Gardner, who will kick it off for the green-shirted Michigan State Spartans. Ohio State will have the ball. Michigan State won the toss. They chose to take the second half kickoff. So we'll see the Buckeye offense first. Waiting for it will be Kenyon Rambo, number 4. Michael Wiley, number 5. Gray, overcast day. We've had spitting rain off and on, but it's not terribly uncomfortable. It's about 50, 51 degrees. That'll go out of bounds. It'll come out to the 35-yard line. Here's Tilly's starting lineup for the Ohio State Buckeyes. The offensive line changes made here last week, moving Eric Goldston over to tackle, and it seemed to work. The receivers, this remains a strength for the Buckeyes. These people will impact the game with or without the ball. And the backs, quarterback Stanley Jackson's ability to run very much on the mind of the Spartan defenders and coaches, because Jackson brings that dimension to the offense. And I might remind you again, you want to look out for that number 23. He's a steady fellow, Matt Keller, and he may be available in the pass patterns more today than in times past. The opening carry goes to Peppy Pearson. And Pearson is taken down by Demetrius Underwood right on the line of scrimmage. The Michigan State defense now, this is a tough bunch. There are two sophomores in the middle of that front. Those ends are quick and aggressive, and we just saw one of them. They have 26 sacks. Ike Reese leads the linebackers. He has 53 solo tackles, and it's the second best defense, we told you, in the Big Ten. The secondary, these people are going to be tested today. They total 8 interceptions so far on the season. It is Steve Wisniewski, the tight end, moving over to the other side. Jackson hands the ball off. Over the left side of the line goes Pepe Pearson, and there's only a couple of yards there for him, and it's coming up on 3rd down and about 8.
Michigan State, Keith, coming in the mood. They've lost 2 games in a row. The defense sets the tone for the Spartans. They are the best unit of the 3 units, the special teams and the offense. They are the best unit. As you look at what they've done, they have not allowed teams to run the ball very much in the first 5 games, but lately, the last 2 losses, they've been able to run it against them.
3rd and 2 now. Jackson under center, and he looks to pass. Rolls out, gets his pass away, and it is out of bounds. It is incomplete. And Ohio State will have to punt as David Boston, defended by Amp Campbell, could not come down inbound.
We saw the corners up in bump and run to try to disrupt the timing of Jackson and his wide receivers. I think, Keith, we're going to see that all afternoon.
Well, Nick Saban said, having spent all that time as a defensive coordinator in various levels of the game, he didn't feel there was any other way to play them.
Yeah.
Got to get in their pocket and stay there. It is Cedric Urban waiting to return the punt. He does everything. He carries his own punt, thank you. Brent Bartholomew will kick it for the Buckeyes. He's a good one, better than 46 yards. Didn't get all of that one, however. That is a rather feeble attempt at indicating fair catch by Cedric Urban, but it's enough. And the ball is blown dead right there at the 26-yard line.
Here's a look at that last 3rd down situation, the first one of the game for the Buckeyes. There's the bump and run. What this does more than anything, it keeps the defensive back close to the receiver and disrupts the timing between the quarterback and the wide receiver.
So there comes the Michigan State defense. The man under the center will be Todd Schultz, number 9. Lined up behind him, Cedric Urban is the deep man, and he's got the ball, number 33. He'll turn the corner and pick up about 1.5 yards or so. The chilly starting lineup for Michigan State along the offensive front. This unit probably can expect Ohio State to fill the box trying to stop Urban and the run today. The receivers, the wideouts, they need a big day to help take the pressure off Urban. And among the backs, if the offensive line can give quarterback Todd Schultz a comfort zone, he can light you up. He's not so good, however, when he has to run for his life.
Who is?
That's right. Double tight end alignment here for the Spartans. They go back to the same steady man, Cedric Urban. You see some of his dash there as he moves the football across the 40-yard line before Antonio Winfield and Quan Winfield can knock him out of bounds. The defense for Ohio State along the front, tackle Winfield Garnett. The senior has a very tender ankle, but he's playing and will play most of the day, I'm told. The linebackers, this threesome, 19 tackles for a loss, only 5 quarterback sacks, however. The defensive backs very good, getting better, especially the sophomores Plummer and Berry. Winfield with 5 tackles for loss and 2 quarterback sacks. It is first down for the Spartans at the 41-yard line. Schultz's first pass sails over the head of the tight end, Josh Kerr. So it'll be second and 10.
Not good for Schultz and Michigan State. What they wanted to do was get Schultz started off on a positive foot. They got the running game going. Lynn Swan told you that this offense is all Cedric Urban. They need somebody else to step up, and Schultz is the guy that's going to have to play well here today if they're going to try and win this game.
Just getting underway at Spartan Stadium in East Lansing, Michigan. Up the middle, there's some daylight, and Urban will exploit any kind of a crack in the defensive front as he moves the ball to the 46-yard line. Brought down by Gary Berry and Antoine Winfield.
So look at from behind the defense at offensive blocking. This guy's got great feet. The thing I'm impressed with is number 11, Winfield, Keith. He's a defensive back, a cornerback. He's second on the team, the Buckeye team, in tackles, and he is really first on the team in unassisted tackles, and he plays way out on the corner.
It is 3rd down and 4. Back goes Schultz. Looks down the middle, throws down the middle. Pass is complete to the tight end, Josh Kerr. Kerr takes the ball down to the Buckeyes. 35-yard line for a first down.
Josh Kerr is the 2nd leading receiver on this team. It's a big 3rd down pickup for Schultz to get his confidence going. Kerr caught 11 balls against Northwestern. That's a big first down for the Spartans.
Cedric Irvin is caught behind the line of scrimmage and brought down. Number 13, Damon Moore, was the first man to get to it. There's a loss of a couple on the play. Gary Trankel, the offensive coordinator for Michigan State, scripts the early portion of the ball game, the first couple of series if you can. And from that point on, of course, you go to wherever the opportunities take you. But Michigan State has had good success working off the script in the
They've had great success, especially the first 5 games in the first quarter and the first half.
Schultz back on 2nd down and throws incomplete. He was looking apparently at Kerr, but the ball seemed to get away from him a bit and went well over Josh's head.
Well, he had nobody open, Keith. He just threw that ball away, and it was a good thing. He had some pressure on him. This defense that he's throwing into is the #1 defense in the Big Ten against the pass. In fact, they're the 2nd pass defense best in the nation. So these guys get after it and can cover you.
It's 3rd, call it 11. Here's Irvin up in a slot. Down the middle, they throw short of the first down marker, however. It's to Kerr, the tight end, and he is shoved out of bounds by Damon Moore, the strong safety.
That's a good play defensively. Fred Puggage, the defensive coordinator. It was 3rd and about 9 or 10 yards, so he blitzed them. They read the blitz. They dumped the ball off. He made the tackle. So they completed the pass, but they still have to kick the field goal.
Chris Gardner, who had that one black moment over at Evanston when his kick was to win the game, was blocked. He's 7 of 11. And it's Bill Burke, left-handed quarterback, doing the holding. It'll be a 49-yard try. A lot of legs. He got it. So Chris Gardner knocks one home from 49 yards. And Michigan State gets the early lead. Michigan State to the early lead. 3-0 on a 49-yard field goal by Chris Gardner. 10 minutes and 50 seconds to play in the first quarter. Gardner will kick it off. Waiting for it is Rambo and Wiley. It's going to be Wiley. Slashes out to about the 25-yard line where Sean White brings him down.
Well, they got lightning in the bottle everywhere, Keith.
One step and he might still be going. Michigan, Penn State, next Saturday here on ABC television. That's part of America's biggest road show. Many of you will see that matchup. Michigan winning today, Penn State on their way to a win. There are 3 other games for you. Call your local operator or check your local affiliate for the game in your area. ABC's college football next Saturday. So the big boys both won today, or winning, and here's Jackson going deep down the sidelines for Boston. It's caught at the 30-yard line as David Boston stretched out his 6'3" frame and hauled it in just beyond the stretching hands of Ray Hill.
Well, it didn't take Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, long to say, all right, if you're going to bump us, we're going to throw the ball down the field. This is not bad coverage. The ball is just perfectly thrown, and Boston just lays out and makes the play. These 2 guys have been outstanding, Keith. They're dynamic. 8 touchdowns for Boston, 5 for Miller coming into the game.
45 yards on that play. This is Pappy Pearson slamming it over the left side, and there's only 2 yards there as he took a solid lick right on the sternum. Here's John Saunders.
Keith, time for the Burger King update. NC State against Florida State. Thad Busby deep in their territory, 7 yards to E.G. Green. He just waltzes that one to the end zone. They missed the point after, but they're on the board. 6-0. Keith.
Ernie Green's come alive lately, hasn't he?
Well, he and Warwick remind me of the receivers for Ohio State here. They're outstanding.
Second down and 8. Jackson dancing around. Got a problem. Down he goes. Brought down by Robert Smith. Robert Smith and Demetrius Underwood lead the team in tackles for losses.
And they lead the team in sacks, too, Keith. Quarterback sacks. Number 91 is Robert Smith. He's got plenty of time to throw this ball. That's good block pass protection by Walter, 77. It just takes too long. It's a coverage sack. The 9th quarterback sack for Smith this season.
Put it back on the 36-yard line and make it 3rd down and 16 for the Buckeyes. Jackson steps forward again. They're just overrunning the Ohio State offensive front. You're going to have to get into some play action or something to get away from that pressure. It was Newkirk that time coming with Smith.
Well, you can't play 3rd and long against this Michigan State. We said in the opening they want to disrupt the offensive line, and they've done that. Press on the outside, tight coverage, and then rush the passer. They're trying to stop and go. Michigan State leads the Big Ten in sacking the quarterback. Ohio State is the poorest pass-protecting offense in the league also, so doesn't square up well for Ohio State.
Brett Bartholomew punting to this man, Cedric Irvin, number 33, standing back at the 10-yard line. 3-0, the Spartans lead it. Bartholomew's punt is a high hanger, and the wind's going to knock it down. You've got a penalty flag that's thrown way back down around the 15-yard line. They may have burned the clock because it's showing 0. That's what they did. Jack Teets is the referee.
Yeah, it's no big deal, Keith. Your punter backing him up 5 is not going to affect the way he punts this ball.
If you're wondering about the importance of this ball game, let me put it to you this way. It could be almost anything for Ohio State, including an $8 million payday. For Michigan State, if they could win this ball game, it would almost surely put them in a prime postseason bowl game. Not necessarily in one of the New Year's Days game, but there are other places that offer pretty good paydays.
Yes, in the Alliance, the Sugar or the Fiesta is one of those.
No. Ohio State's got a chance at it.
Oh, Ohio State, yes.
There's Bartholomew screwing it up into the wind. Got a tight spiral on it. It's followed by Cedric Irvin, who loses his footing, and they will take him down at about the 3-yard line, and they're lucky on that.
Well, Bartholomew is such a weapon, Keith. I said the 5-yard delay of game penalty really wasn't a big deal because he can kick this ball down inside. Irvin is there because of his good hands, but he knows he made a mistake on this one.
Dodge, it's about change. Marriott Hotels, Resorts, and Suites. We believe when you're comfortable, you can do anything. And the NASDAQ stock market. A new combination in the backfield for Michigan State as they work from the 2-yard line. Mark Renaud is in the deep position at the tailback spot. Gets the ball. He's a senior. And a very steady fellow, 190-pounder out of Deerfield Beach, Florida. And he slants in there and finds some running room. Right off that snap, whistled right out of the end zone out to the 6-yard line. Here's 20.
Well, Keith, the fact that Michigan State had the ball on the 6-yard line was a mental error on the part of Cedric Irvin. He knew he should not have caught that ball. He should have just let it bounce into the end zone and said as much to his coach when he walked over to the sideline, Keith.
Travis Reese is the blocking back in this alignment for Michigan State. He's leading the play, but here comes Winfield, Antoine Winfield, blitzing on the play, the corner, and he dumps it behind the line of scrimmage.
I like that kid, Keith. Winfield, he's only 5'9", 180 pounds. And number 11, look at the bottom of your screen. He's a corner. He's going to get into the backfield, avoid the block of the pulling guard. That's a big play.
3rd down and 8.
He may be coming again, number 11.
Going to the right side, and number 52, Kevin Johnson, hunts him down and takes him down at about the 6-yard line. So now Michigan State's going to have to send Edinger out to punt out of his end zone. Paul Edinger, who has had good moments and bad moments this season, had a very good year a year ago. His average is just under 38 yards per punt.
He's had a couple punts blocked this year too, Keith. Not only this year, but last year. And if there's ever going to be a time to try and block one, this is it.
There's not much of a
Going for the return, yeah.
They want the field position. It's Boston at the 48. Nothing. I mean, he didn't do anything. He just stood there and watched him come, and then it was too late to do anything. And Ray Hill took him down. So good coverage by the Spartans on the punt.
Spartan defense, 9th in the nation in total defense. That's 2nd in the Big Ten. Very aggressive. They get a great pass rush from their defensive ends primarily. Robert Smith, number 91. They can rush the passer. They are the best rushing the passer. Ohio State, the worst protecting the passer. So they got a good matchup going at the line of scrimmage. They can just slow down the wide receivers, but offensively, Ohio State wants to do is get some big plays, throw the ball down the field on those corners.
Buckeyes first down, their own 48-yard line. Edinger had a 45-yard punt with no return. And it's Pearson behind Keller in the backfield with Jackson rolling away from the pressure now, getting some help. Here's the dimension he brings, the ability to run the sidelines, and he does, and gets a reasonably good gain out of it. With 6 minutes to play in the first quarter, Michigan State leading Ohio State 3-0.
Coming into today's game, Stanley was 2nd in the Big Ten in pass efficiency, and his counterpart, Joe Germain, is number 1. So they are 1-2 in the Big Ten in pass efficiency. You couldn't have it much better than that.
2nd down and 4. Jackson gives to Pearson. And Pepe Pearson should have a first down, depending on whether he uses the left foot or the right foot. And it should be his left foot, because it's marked for the man on the far side, and you're marked for the foot that's upfield. Unless you forget. It's a first down for the Buckeyes. Put it on the 41-yard line of the Spartans. Ohio State had the one big play, a 45-yard pass play from Jackson to Boston, but they were unable to do anything with it after a couple of quarterback sacks. Now they've got it on the Spartan side one more time. That's D. Miller in motion. It's Pepe Pearson over the left side. And there's no room there. He went right up the back of Keller. Matt Keller was trying to put a block on Ike Reese and couldn't handle him. And Pepe went in there and ran right up Keller's back.
Yeah. What the Spartans are doing defensively in the line, Keith, is they're slanting the defensive line one way or the other to mess up the blocking assignments. That allows the 4 defensive backs a lot of the time to double on the 2 wide receivers. So the 7 guys inside are going to stop the run, and the 4 DBs are going to try and shut down the 2 wide receivers.
Kenyon Rambo gives Ohio State 3 lineouts, and Jackson on a quarterback draw. First down, Buckeyes. Ball rolls out. They're going to call him down. The linesman on this side said nothing doing. He's down. So it'll be first down, Ohio State, down near the 25.
Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, saw what's going on, and he said, they're getting upfield. The linemen are just rushing upfield so hard. Just give me my quarterback, my running quarterback. Let him run a quarterback draw. That's a quick, that's almost like just a quarterback sneak. Nice call by Mike Jacobs.
Put it on the 26 and call it a first down for Ohio State. 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Michigan State, I don't believe, has allowed a touchdown in the first quarter this season, have they?
No, they haven't.
Jackson straight back, pressure coming, steps away from it, takes off. Got a block on the corner. Got a first down inside the 15. Pepe Pearson threw the block that turned the corner. And Stanley Jackson comes up with a second successive big run.
Dean Pease, the defensive coordinator for the Spartans, have got to be pulling his hair out. Everything goes well. He covers all 10 guys. He gets some pressure up the middle on Jackson. And then Stanley says, all right, let me slide around. Oops, I got to get away from Robert Smith. Now get a block. Now I'm just outrunning everybody. This is something, an extra dimension that Stanley Jackson brings to the Buckeyes.
At the 11-yard line where it's a first down for Ohio State. Their first threat of the game goes to Keller, the fullback. And Matt Keller will thump in there. He's a 230-pounder. At about the 8-yard line. Monday, two very different interviews on a special Monday primetime live. Michael Jordan and Mike Tyson. Then Cordell Stewart and the first-place Pittsburgh Steelers will battle the Kansas City Chiefs on ABC's Monday Night Football. Pittsburgh and Kansas City. They've bumped head a few times and produced some memorable NFL games. Lamar Marshall is in the defensive secondary now on second down and 7. Jackson's pass is away and incomplete. He threw it away. He had people coming in trying to take his head off, and so he dumps it over the end line and beyond the reach of anybody. Courtney Ledyard was the man who came pounding at him.
Inside blitz here, but Ledyard is on the outside. Watch, is a nice play he's going to make. He gets up in his face right there, and Stanley does a nice job of just avoiding another sack. This Spartan defense, Keith, is aggressive. As I mentioned, they get a lot of sacks, but they are across the line of scrimmage.
Michigan State 8-yard line, third down and 7 for the Buckeyes. Jackson to the corner. No. Amp Campbell covering D. Miller and spoils it.
You can't throw it much better than this. That's a ball that Miller would normally catch. Take a look from behind the defense. Michigan State is blitzing. Great protection. Well, it's a little bit tougher catch than I thought, but Miller normally comes down with those.
25-yard field goal try by Dan Stokes, who's 9 of 15 this season. Big leg on him, and he knocks it through. So we are all tied at 3 with 3 minutes and 17 seconds to go in the first quarter. Halloween 10 years ago in Columbus, Michigan State loaded with the likes of White, Risen, and Snow, and a quarterback named McAllister did in the Ohio State Buckeyes in the horseshoe 13-7. And one of the big plays in the ball game was this remarkable run by McAllister. It set them on their way to a 13-7 victory and eventually to the Rose Bowl. So we've traded field goals here in the first quarter of play. And the standings in the Big Ten with Michigan and Penn State both winning today. We're going to reflect also as soon as we get the final out of Iowa. Purdue was trailing the Iowa Hawkeyes when last we saw that score. So one of the undefeateds in the Big Ten standings may fall today. Ohio State, having lost their one to Penn State. So even at 3, here's the high kickoff hanging up there by Stoltz, and it's going to be caught about the 12-yard line by Mark Renaud. And he pounds along. He's a tough guy. And he's across the 30, out close to the 32-yard line.
Michigan and Penn State have both won today, Keith. That sets up that match next week in Happy Valley. Purdue is losing. I guess that's not final yet.
You noticed the lack of enthusiasm when you said that.
Unfortunately for my Boilermakers, Iowa had just won, and
Even so, remarkable job of coaching by Joe Tiller and his staff. Cedric Irvin is the man. But Todd Schultz is back with all day to throw, and he throws it right to Gary Mary. Touchdown. Ahmed Plummer, the big block as Barry intercepts and scores. 45-yard return of the interception for the touchdown. He had 5 interceptions last week in the loss to Michigan.
45 yards on the interception return. Touchdown, Ohio State by number 1, Gary Mary.
That's Barry's 4th interception on the year, Keith.
Stoltz for the point. So the Buckeyes ring the bell quickly, twice. Ohio State 10, Michigan State 3 off the turnover.
Well, this is the type of thing that Saban just can't have, Keith. Take a look from behind the offense. It's crossing from right to left. You see the receiver going. Now, there's a defensive back, Barry, number 1, right there. It was not man coverage. He didn't expect to see Barry was sitting right there in the hole, and it was a poorly thrown ball besides.
Plummer threw a pretty good block. So 45 yards on the return at a 10-3 lead, and it's this kind of thing that has really been a bother over the last 3 weeks for Michigan State.
This is the 3rd interception for a touchdown for the Buckeyes this year, Keith. And Schultz, as you mentioned, threw 5 last week, and that's got a lot of air out of his balloon right there.
So now they have been scored on in the first quarter.
Not on the defense, though.
Not on the defense.
The defense will
right.
remind you of that.
From the 7-yard line, it's Gary Scott. And Scott battles his way out to the 27 for the Spartans. Michigan State had outscored the opposition 87-9 this season in the first quarter.
Here's a look at Todd Schultz. The first 4 games, they were rolling. 7 touchdowns and only 3 interceptions. In the last 4 games, including this one, he's thrown 7 interceptions. It all has to do with confidence, Keith, and a running game. And you get the running game going, and I think it's the level of competition also. The first 5 games that the Spartans played, they ran through them pretty easily. Competition, the last 3 or 4 have gotten a little bit tougher.
6 seconds on the play clock. 5, 4, 3. They get it off. Give it to Irvin. And Irvin is hit by Katzenmoyer. Just across the line of scrimmage. He'll have about a yard on the carry. Andy Katzenmoyer at 260 pounds. You'll stop when you hit him flush.
The thing about it is, this is what he does best. He fills those inside gaps. He's got the speed to run wide and fill inside. He's an outstanding player.
2nd down and 9 for the Spartans. Irvin again. He's quite remarkable the way he finds room in there. I mean, he has great feet and great vision.
Exactly, Keith. Good eyes and good feet. Move you around. You get to see everything. The thing for the Spartans now, they started out well in their first 2 or 3 possessions. Their defense was playing well. The 1 interception just let all the air out. Now they've got to come back. Nick Saban was telling us yesterday that they seem to react to moods in the game, and if something goes against them, they seem to get down a little bit. They've got to do something offensively.
Double up on the top of the picture there with a double wide and throws back. Pressure's coming, gets it off, got the screen set up for Irvin, but there's that lateral pursuit by Andy Katzenmoyer, and they stop him short of the first down. It looked for a moment like that screen was going to pop a big one, but not until Katzenmoyer showed up and spoiled it.
That was a nice play for Katzenmoyer, because if he's not out there, it was a blitz. The screen could go a long way.
A minute to go in the first quarter, and Paul Edinger is in for his second punt for the Spartans. His first one was a good one, 45 yards and no return. David Boston is ready. Oh! Buckeyes have a shot. Berry chasing the ball. Touchdown. His second of the quarter. It looked like Matt LeVar blocked it, and Berry chased it in for the 6.
Well, that's the 3rd block punt of the year, and the 7th in the last 2 years for Nick Saban's Spartans. It's been a problem.
And Stoltz is in, suddenly busy in the last couple of minutes of the first quarter. With 45 seconds to play in the first period, it's now 17-3.
Keith, right up the middle is where it's going to come. Gould, number 45, is the fullback there. He's going to run right by him. Look at that, doesn't even touch him, right up the gut. That's not a slow punt. That's just a missed assignment up front. You don't block those guys up front, you're going to get them blocked every time.
It's Mark Willis that blocks it, number 46. Mark Willis, who came up the middle. He's the defensive end linebacker, and it looked to be 46, Mark Willis, that got it instead of LeVar.
You cannot be a good football team unless you have good special teams, Keith. If you have breakdowns in your special teams, you've got problems, because it's a crack in your foundation that will come anytime during a ball game.
And usually when it hurts the most. Ooh. This time Stokes gets more foot on it and runs it back to the 3-yard line for Scott. And Scott tripped up by Kevin Griffin just as he was starting his break up the field. Here's Swanee.
Keith and Bob, you know, when you go after a block punt, I believe one of the first things you have to do is look at the field position, where the punter's going to kick from. You know why? Because when you block it, that ball's going to go someplace deep to the side, and you want to have some room to take advantage of it. You know, they try this when the team is backed up on the 4 or 5-yard line. That goes out of the end zone. It's just a touchback. Here, it's a touchdown because you've got some field to work with.
Right. 36 seconds. Ball is on the 30. Still in the first quarter that just exploded in favor of the Buckeyes, and Mark Renaud now is in at the tailback position for Michigan State. Renaud with the ball, searching through there, and finds some room, gets about 5 yards on the carry.
Well, we were talking so much about the Ohio State offense and how dynamic and explosive it is. Well, they've only scored 3 points. It's the Buckeye defense and special teams that have really set the tone here early. They've scored 2 touchdowns.
And usually, most of the people on the special teams will be from the defensive side of the team. This will be the last play of the quarter, and it won't end here probably because there's a penalty flag, unless, of course, the penalty is on Michigan State. Andy Katzenmoyer gets his second tackle of the day. Jack Teach, the referee. We're at the end of the quarter. It's offside against Ohio State.
Offside under defense, 5-yard penalty, first down, on time down will be played.
You get the extra down with no time because of the penalty.
This Buckeye defense, Keith, as you know, lost 8 starters from last year's team. It was an outstanding defensive unit. Had been together for a long, long time. A lot of new players on that defensive line especially. Winfield, one of the returning starters. He started about half the time, but this defense is growing each week. This Ohio State offensive and defensive units are getting better and better.
It's first down after the 5-yard penalty. This is a free untimed play, and it is a big one. All the way down to the Ohio State 29-yard line. Mark Renaud finally run down by Gary Berry, and the first quarter is now in the books. 17-3, Ohio State. It's 17-3, Ohio State. The defense doing most of the scoring. They produced 14 points on a block punt and a pass interception. But right now, Michigan State is camped at the 29-yard line of Ohio State, trying to manifest something of a threat here. On Renaud's run to end the first quarter. They go back to Cedric Irvin at the deep back position, and he'll be stopped at about the 26-yard line.
As you look at the numbers, drop down to turnovers. The Spartans had 1 turnover. That led to 7 points for Ohio State. And the block punt by Ohio State led to another 7 points. So they have 17 points, the Buckeyes do. Only 3 of them were produced by their offense.
Tough. Cedric Irvin gets a block from Sean Mason and just wheels it inside. I don't know that I've seen it. I guess maybe Tavian Banks is pretty close to him, but otherwise I don't know I've seen a back that finds that much daylight in where there's a lot of traffic.
That's some good guys blocking on that left side. Flozell Adams and Scott Shaw, the left guard. The tight end on that side does a good job also. You know what? Irvin doesn't have the speed that Tavian Banks does, but he's got the feet. Yes, you get him in space, and you are not going to catch him or tackle him.
It's first down on the Ohio State 18-yard line. Irvin again with the ball, and he's hit down around the ankles and taken down by Antoine Winfield.
That's his 9th tackle of the game already. We've barely played more than 1 quarter.
At number 73 in the green, we were told yesterday that he's a very aggressive, tough guy, Scott Shaw, and he was very aggressive and tough on that play.
Winfield is just, he's unbelievable. He already has 2 sacks on the year also, so he gets around.
Irvin again. And number 95, Bell, has him by the ankle. Big Jim Bell as he goes by. And he will fall forward and pick up 2. The ball is placed at the 14-yard line. It is 3rd down and 6.
Last week versus the Wolverines, Cedric Irvin touched the ball 29 times for 158 yards. That was 58% of their offense, and he is their go-to guy. He is their playmaker.
Shoots, passes away, and he's got a man, and he dropped it. Cedric Irvin had gone to the corner of the end zone, and he hit him right in the hands, and he couldn't reel it in. Gary Berry is defending.
That was an opportunity to make a play, and he didn't. Both the wide receivers are going to clear out. Here's Irvin here as he's going to swing along the sideline. It's a nice call and a nice throw. They just needed him to catch that ball.
31-yard field goal try now for Chris Gardner is good. So Gardner gets a 31-yarder and a 49-yarder, and 12:35 to go in the first half. 17-6 Buckeyes.
Cedric Irvin had an opportunity to make a big play. He leads this team in receptions. He caught 9 balls last week, and that's one he dearly needed to catch, and it was on Gary Berry, who has scored 2 touchdowns for the state, for the Buckeyes. But that's a play he needed to make to get his Spartans back in the ballgame.
Low bouncing kick, finally taken by Wiley up around the 11-yard line, looking for a little help from the corner, and doesn't get it. He's down at about the 23-yard line. Sean Wright making his 2nd tackle of the day on special teams.
sometimes, Keith and Bob, you wonder why. You have to ask yourself, how come a guy can drop a pass that's so easy to catch? And I believe what happens is, when it is so easy, sometimes the receiver just relaxes too much. He thinks to himself, oh, I got this one. I'm worrying about turning it upfield or worrying about the move, or it's going to be a touchdown. And all of a sudden, the ball is through your hands because you don't focus. It's just too easy.
Ball actually looked like it hit him in the face mask.
Joe Germain is in the ball game at quarterback now for Ohio State. So John Cooper goes to the other quarterback. Michael Wiley is in the backfield, and it's Wiley with the ball, breaking the tackle behind the line of scrimmage and getting back to the line of scrimmage. Ike Reese will get credit for that tackle.
Keith, I asked the Ohio State coaches, in fact, I asked Mike Jacobs, I said, who decides? I said, when the other quarterback goes in, when's the separation? And they said, well, no, Coop is the guy that decides. He'll get a feel, or he'll ask Mike Jacobs or the other coaches, how do you feel about it? Let me go with the other guy. And this is normal. If you haven't seen Ohio State in the past, they use two quarterbacks, and they both play very well.
This one's got a quick arm. Great tackle on that pass. I mean, he threw it over one defender and right in front of another defender. Ray Hill couldn't get to it. David Boston made the catch, moved the chains.
It's bump and run, but he's running off of him. Boston just going to go down, running out. He leads the Big Ten in receptions coming into the ball game. Had 48 coming in, and 8 were for touchdown. He's an outstanding talent.
And just to the left of that linesman was where the other defender was, and the ball was touched right over his head. It's first down, all up on the 38-yard line. Run it in the middle with Michael Wiley. Wiley is a 190-pounder out of Spring Valley, California. Ike Reese, another tackle for Michigan State. ABC's College Football online live with scores, stats, highlights from today's games. You can chat, sound off, play trivia, whatever with the fan polls, all on America Online. The key word, ABC Sports. 43-yard line. We're at second down and 5 now for Ohio State. They lead 17-6 with 11 minutes to play in the first half. Germain's pass drilled right into the numbers. And a catch to David Boston. Boston's biggest outing of the season and career for a school record was over at Penn State in a game they lost 31-27 when he caught 14.
Caught 14.
He didn't get a very good spot either this time because he lost a yard on the spot.
Keith, what these corners need to do is jam Boston and Miller at the line of scrimmage. We've seen them a couple of times where they're just up and bump and run, but they're turning and running away from them. They need to jam them and give them a tough time getting off the line of scrimmage.
That was a third down play, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And well, it'll be third down this time, and that. Third down at about a foot. Just short. I thought he was up around the 48, but he got his mark at the 47. And it's 10:56 to go. Penn State escaped from Evanston today. Escaped 30-27.
30-27.
I'm sure that's a score that I saw. I mean,
is that what it ended up?
Yeah.
Oh, geez.
Ooh. Joe won't. He won't have a stomach for food till he gets to Sue's spaghetti dinner tonight.
And oh, it's good, isn't it?
Wow. So it's on the 47-yard line where it's third down at about a foot. Germain on a sneak. DeVario Carter was in there grabbing for the ball for Michigan State. That's pretty close.
First down.
Yeah.
First down, Ohio State.
Pretty close.
Talk about John Cooper and knowing when to put in the other quarterback. Jackson was in for 3 series, and they got a field goal out of the third one. And Cooper just has a feel, and I commend him for playing both players, because if you've got 2 players that are good enough, you play 2 tight ends and 2 running backs and 3 wide receivers, go ahead and play two, but he opens himself up for controversy from the outside. There's no controversy within the team. It just helps the team.
Jermaine with a lot of time. Perfect with the pass to Michael Wiley, and Wiley slipping along, got away from a Michigan State man who thought he had him out of bounds, but he just stepped on around Courtney Ledgerd and picks up a first down for the Buckeyes down at the Michigan State around the 40.
The thing about Jermaine is he's a little bit more of a target in the pocket. Spartans thought that they might, when he's in there, be able to get a better pass rush because they could really cut it loose. That ball was thrown right on target. Not an easy throw when the receiver is running right away from you toward the sideline.
That's pretty nifty footwork by Michael there to get around the corner. They mark him at the 39-yard line where it's a first down.
He's a good player, too.
And big fellow that moved over is Big John Lumpkin, all 6'8" or 9 of him. They try the middle of the line, try to run it there, and there's nothing doing as DeVario Carter, who is only a sophomore, 285 pounds of baby fat there. He's just starting to get into the weight room and starting to grow. There's a lot of youngsters on both these teams that have bright futures.
In fact, the Spartans have 6 or 7 true freshmen that are backups on the defensive side of the ball, Keith. If somebody gets hurt, a true freshman comes into the ball game. So they got a lot of youth on these two teams.
Second down 11 after a loss of a yard on the previous play. And Jermaine back, steps away, throws the ball. Wiley has it, going down the sidelines.
So Wiley pushed out of bounds by M. Campbell, number 3.
He's close to the marker, but I think he's short, and he is, by about a yard. Third down and 1. Amp Campbell, who's playing with a sore shoulder, knocked him out.
Watch Boston come down and block on Reese, number 44. This is a speed screen, and it's to the back. The guy that's covering the back is Reese, and Boston knows that, so he comes down and cracks on him right away. Then the offensive linemen get out in front of him. Well executed, and it's good to see a wide receiver who catches a lot of balls blocking for his buddies.
They need a yard. Jermaine fumbled it. Joe Jermaine coming away from the snap, did not get away cleanly with the ball, and he fumbles it. And I think
Underwood on the play for Michigan State.
no, they won't either. Here comes Stokes. Here comes old Big Leg.
Oh, he's got the leg.
He's had a 55-yarder. It was at home. Bartholomew will hold it. Kevin Hauser will snap it, and it'll be 51 yards. Where's the wind? Not much wind. Might help him, if anything, what little there is. It's not going to get there. He lifted it up instead of driving it, and it just didn't have the distance, and so the Buckeyes are turned away at 8:43 to go in the half. But low prices all over the store. The legendary Firebird Trans Am from Pontiac. And State Farm Insurance. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. It's first down, Michigan State at their own 34-yard line. They try the middle. Andy Katzenmoyer. Moyer takes down Mark Renaud right about the line of scrimmage.
Katzenmoyer slides to the outside. LeVar and Udzinski slid to the inside. A little movement on the defensive line, and he slid to the outside, just messing up the blocking assignments, and he was right there to pick up the tackle.
Shoots with a deep drop, lets it go, and it is incomplete. He got it on the hands of the intended receiver, Gary Scott. So he came very close to his first completion to a wide receiver today.
That's a tough throw, but he put it right where he needed to have it.
Yep, right behind Winfield's ear.
But the wide receivers, they lost both receivers last year. Mason and another fellow, Carter, both graduated, and Scott and Long have not caught the number of balls and have not produced like the receivers have in the past, Keith.
They've had some great ones here. Going way back to Kirk Gibson.
Oh, they had a bunch of them.
Pressure coming, passes away very quickly to Renaud. Renaud with a big play down the sidelines, and is finally knocked out of bounds. The first Ohio State Buckeye missed him, and Ahmed Plummer finally knocked him out down at the 40. I mean, Renaud was hauling it. Renaud was going like a Renault.
Yes, he was. Ohio State defensively was sending linebackers. Look at Katzenmoyer. Muzinski is 35. Katzenmoyer, somebody's supposed to cover the back out of the backfield. It may have been the safety. It's got to be either the linebacker or the safety.
Irvin back into the lineup for Michigan State. Has the ball, picks up 2. 7:40 to play. Seven and a half minutes to go in the half. 17-6, Ohio State.
Look at the offense and what they've done. No completions to wide receivers. Irvin is 11 rushes, 43 yards.
Irvin falls across the 35-yard line. He's got to go inside the 30 for his first down. Kevin Johnson, number 52, that tackle. Irvin came here from Florida, out of what, Southridge High School.
He was an outstanding young man and played for Southridge High School. They won the state championship. They produced some good runners out of that school down there.
The ball is just inside the 35. It is 3rd down and 6 for the Spartans.
Here they come.
Who's the hot man? He gets it away, and it is incomplete. It was Niall Diggs, number 32, who put him down, and he delivered the ball just before Diggs made contact.
Well, Diggs is a backup linebacker. And he finally got there. That was just a coverage sack. He had plenty of time to throw it. That's Diggs. That's the first time he's got. Well, he's got 1 sack going into the ball game.
All right, here's a man-sized field goal try coming up from Chris Gardner. They're going to put the ball down around the 41, so that'll make it a 51-yarder. The squeeze. No, it's short by about a yard. So at 6:25, Michigan State is turned away. And the score remains 17-6, Ohio State. Time remaining is 6:25. That outburst by the Ohio State defense, giving them that 17 points, 14 of the 17 points. And Michigan State with a couple of field goals. You've got Joe Germain staying in at quarterback with Michael Wiley, the deep man, and Matt Keller, the fullback. Keller has not been thrown the ball yet, and there's room for him up the middle. Germain gives to Wiley. Wiley working his way around the corner is brought down by Underwood. David Boston is out there trying to give him some help. So was D. Miller, and so was Matt Keller.
Talk about special teams. Ohio State has had the better of it. They've had the better starting field position. They blocked a punt for a touchdown. Their punter is doing a much better job, and both teams have missed a field goal. Not only special teams, but also the defense for Ohio State has run one back for a touchdown.
2nd down and 5 for the Bucks. Jermaine still got it. Rolls out, throws. He's got his first down as he completes the pass to Steve Wisniewski, tight end, number 84.
Wisniewski has caught 8 balls coming into the ball game, Keith. They throw to their tight ends a lot. John Lumpkin and Wisniewski use a lot of 2 tight ends for the running game and their throwing.
Wisniewski leaves now, and Miller comes back, and the rain, maybe not as heavy as it might look. It's a rather steady drizzle. The lighting may dramatize it just a bit. Ball is on the 46-yard line. First down. protection, throws a bullet down the middle, and it ricochets off the hands of John Lumpkin. Mike Austin, the Mike linebacker, was defending on the play. Tomorrow live at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, we hope, final round coverage from Champions Golf Club in Houston, Texas. The final stop on the 1997 PGA Tour. Davis Love, Brad Faxon, David Duval, Bill Glasson, all at 8 under par. They're playing Cypress Creek at the Champions outside of Houston. Walked that fairway many a time myself.
Some huge greens.
Golf there.
Some huge greens there. Do you see those? Big one. And quick.
Second down and 10. Here comes Wiley. And he's going to have about 6 yards on the carry before Sori Kanu brings him down. I remember one time one of the pros playing there at Cypress Creek. He had a huge green and his ball was in the one little tunnel of it. I'll go ahead and I'll tell you about it in a minute.
Kanu is a free safety, number 6. He's second on the team in tackles.
And the hole was across the corner of the bunker, but in order to get the ball toward the hole, he took a sand wedge and chipped it off the green, and he took a blanket about 3 feet long, and Jackie Burke almost died. Right out of the green. Third down and 4. Jermaine getting some heat this time, dumps quickly to Wiley. Wiley's got a convoy down the sidelines and pounds his way to the 25-yard line. Murphy, big old Rob Murphy was his escort down the sidelines.
What they're doing is when they blitz these linebackers, they're hitting the back out in the flat, and nobody is coming out to cover the back. Watch, everybody's inside. Jermaine does a nice job. This is just good planning and scheming. Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, seeing what they're doing and then sending down some plays to get to the weakness of the defense.
First down at the 24 of Michigan State. Jermaine rolls it out. Got a block over there. Intercepted. Picked off by Courtney Ledger and brought back to the 35-yard line. So the Spartans come up with a turnover.
Here's Ledyard here after the fake is out here. He's just going to drop back. I don't think Jermaine even sees him. If you stop it right there, there's Ledyard right there. I don't think Jermaine even saw him, Keith.
So it's first down for the Spartans at the 35-yard line. Schultz gives the ball to Cedric Urban. Urban getting some blocking, and now the defense pursuit, and it's Johnson, number 52, finally getting him, coming from the far side. So there will be a loss there of about 3 yards as the defense just wouldn't yield to 3 blockers.
Yeah, we talked about coming in how good this defense was. 9th in the nation in total defense. Ledyard, number 53 right there, was a defensive end playing out of position. Last year had 9 sacks of the quarterback. That's his first career interception.
Cedric Urban came off the field tenderly, dragging a foot like he might have sprained an ankle. That's Renaud going in motion. And the ball is thrown out of bounds with the penalty flag from across the way. And that was a rather lame attempt, I think, of setting up a screen on the far side. But that ball had to be thrown in the view of the quarterback Schultz forward, and so he threw it forward rather than risk it.
Well, Nick told us yesterday, Saban did, that they had a lateral pass. Maybe it was Gary Tranquil, the offensive coordinator, that ball was definitely thrown backwards.
But Urban is the man that they like to have throw it, not Renaud.
And the reason Todd threw that ball out of bounds was when Renaud went in motion, linebackers went out with him. If they would have run a quarterback draw, I don't think they'd had any linebackers inside to tackle him.
You're right. It'll be third down and 12 now. After the penalty. That's it, go big. He did not get it. They're going to call it a trap. Scott almost. Scott turned inside on Plummer, had position, but the ball fell just short.
Take a look at the end of the play. Scott sees it first, comes in on it.
Oh, he could have caught that.
Yeah, but he wasn't close.
Fat old man says up here in the booth.
Yeah. You run 50 yards and come inside on the wet field.
20-yard line, returned by David Boston, and he comes back to the 29-yard line. Tonight at 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific, West Virginia and Syracuse have at it in Big East competition. It'll have some meaning for the Big East Championship and probably almost surely some meaning having to do with the alliance alignment.
Well, that's for sure, because one of those teams from the Big East is going to make it into the alliance, and Syracuse has a chance after starting out very slowly.
That's tonight on ESPN. First down for the Buckeyes from their own 29 now. And Jermaine, listening to the whistles, pulls it down. Referee's time.
There was a whistle on the field. We're going to repeat first down. Whistle on the field.
Inadvertent whistle on the field.
Somebody's got a whistle down there that's not wearing his striped shirt, is what that meant. And that's the right thing to do. The only thing for Coot and the Buckeyes is that play that they were running, they were halfway into it, and they probably won't come back with that one for a while.
Wisniewski comes in at tight end, and Lumpkin leaves. That's a change, and probably brought a play. If he didn't, then Pepe Pearson surely did. And it's first down. Jermaine throws it, got it away to Matt Keller, and Matt's probably going to go back over there and say, "Hey, Joe, you go ahead and throw it on down to those other fellas if you want. I'll block for them." They almost killed me.
Well, Keller is an option in that offense, but he's like the fourth or fifth option. He's the fullback. He's the blocking back. He's a good receiver. Last year he caught 17 passes and a couple of touchdowns. This year he's already caught 11 on the season.
Michigan State defense has kind of turned it up a notch right here. They've been troublesome the last couple of plays. Second down and 8 for the Buckeyes. Jermaine hands it away to Pearson, and the ball is loose. It's going to stay in possession of Ohio State.
I think it was Hill.
Lumpkin, I think it was.
I think it was Hill that knocked it loose.
Hill knocked it out, and Big John Lumpkin wrapped his 260-pound, 6'8" frame around it. And that's like having a tent fall on it.
So look at the corner, Hill coming in from the outside.
Oh, the Buckeyes pick up a first down on the fumble up the field as Lumpkin covered it. 41-yard line, Jermaine back. In a hurry, gets it off, and oh, what a kick. David Boston went up, and Ray Hill covered it just as well as he could cover it. And Boston just simply went up and got it.
Yeah, and Jermaine did a nice job of waiting for it. It was bump and run, jamming on the outside. There was pressure on the outside and pressure on Jermaine, and he just waited for him to open up. There's a look at Underwood. That's Goldston out there doing a pretty good job on him. Here's the press on the outside. So they're really not getting their hands on the defensive back needs to get the hands on there to disrupt their timing and their routes.
Out of the shotgun, Jermaine buys a little more time, and that one is thrown away. Intended for Keller, and Keller was looking right down the barrel at Courtney Ledyard and wasn't going to go anywhere anyway. And so it's incomplete. I think in order to achieve what you're trying to achieve in the bump and run, that is disrupt the timing, frustrate and aggravate and anger the would-be receiver, you got to put your hands on it.
You do. And you don't have to do it all the time, but you have to do it at least half the time. So when you don't do it, I mean, if you don't do it at all, then they're just going to run their routes the way they normally do.
What you're really trying to do is pilfer his poise, right?
Well, I've never heard it put quite that way, Hoss, but yeah, it'll work.
Jermaine, a little swing out to Keller, got one block, needs another one, got it, and out of bounds. Down around the 32-yard line for a first down. We check in with John Saunders.
First down on the pass.
Coming up on Valvoline Halftime 97, the day's scores and highlights. #1 Nebraska's rolling against Oklahoma.
Now, Florida State looks good. Michigan and Penn State both win today, setting up a huge matchup next week in State College.
It's all coming up on Valvoline Halftime 97.
Judgment Day next week in Happy Valley.
Not only in Happy Valley, but down in North Carolina.
Yep, Chapel Hill.
Seminoles go down to play the Carolina. It's a big drive here, Keith.
Well, Jermaine's pretty good. David Boston turns, gives him that big old chest to throw it into, and it's like a basket. Put it right there in front of Ray Hill.
Good protection. Good timing. The 5th catch of the ball game, 82 yards for Boston. Last week against Northwestern, Jermaine and the Buckeyes scored just before halftime, Keith, if you remember.
Yep. And they're about to do it again because there's 1 minute to go in the first half. Measurement is the change brought across for the measurement, and that, of course, stops the clock with the minute to play, giving them time to talk, giving them time to rest. Jermaine's over there with the Ohio State coaches while they're measuring, and you saw there was just inches short.
Yeah, well, the mood right there is they're frustrated because the offense hasn't scored a touchdown yet. And Jermaine, this is his 3rd drive. He's thrown an interception on one of his 3 possessions. They've missed a field goal on another of his possessions. So this one, he'd like to get in the end zone.
All of their times out remaining. Once the ball is placed and people are on the field in proper order, including the officials, then the referee, Jack Teach, will roll the clock. The Buckeyes should be ready to go. Second down and an inch. That's Pepe Pearson going in motion. Puts him over there on the same side with B. Miller. And up the middle goes Matt Keller. All the way down to the 10-yard line. Maybe the 11, just short of the 10. And that will stop the clock again as they move the chains with 55 seconds to go in the first half.
It's a nice call. They just take the halfback and run him out of there. The halfback goes out and the linebacker goes with him, and Gilbert and Murphy, both Murphys, Kurt and Rob, do nice jobs up the middle.
And big old Tyson Walter. Jermaine's pass is Boston. Touchdown. In front of Campbell. So they've done it again. Those kind of things are will breakers, going to the clubhouse at halftime. One goes in down, the other one goes in soaring. So at 32 seconds to play in the first half, the Buckeyes have 23 points. And trying to add the 24 right here on the placement. It's up and it's good, but the Ohio State defense still leads the Ohio State offense in scoring 14-10.
Mike and his real
Down at about the 25.
Keith, when Jermaine comes to the line of scrimmage, he looks out here to this side, and he sees single coverage out here on Boston. He's going to run a corner, just go down and break to the outside. Single coverage, man on man, and just out jumps Campbell for the ball.
Urban is going to come back in now for Michigan State as they run out the clock. And obviously they Well, if he's healthy enough and they put him up here in a slot, he might just take off because he's worked in that slot before, but it doesn't appear that's going to be the case. He's going to run it out of the deep back position, and he'll get it up across the 30 to about the 33. And you're inside 20 seconds now and counting. Joe Germain, 11 out of 14, and a rather rare thing, he had an interception. He didn't throw very many of those, but it's a big first half for him. And they let the clock go. So they're going where it's warm and dry, where they can have quiet conversation. And at the halftime, it's Ohio State 24 and Michigan State 6.
Last drive was a big drive, Keith. Been a lot different for Michigan State if they were only down by 11 instead of by 18, 12, whatever.
So it's it's Ohio State going to the clubhouse high, and the Spartans know they've got a problem. They're as good as anybody in this league right now.
Well, they're making the plays, and you're right, Keith. They've improved. We've seen them. This is our third time, and they've improved each time we've seen them. Their offense is getting better and better, and the defense really impressive.
The score might be Ohio State defense 14, Ohio State offense 10, and Michigan State 6, if you want to look at it that way. Interception by Gary Berry results in a 45-yard run for a touchdown. And a blocked punt by Mark Willis with Berry chasing the ball into the end zone for another touchdown. All happened boom, boom, boom. And the Dean Witter halftime stats look like this.
Well, look at the bottom three. The turnovers are the same, but the one turnover that Michigan State had was returned for a touchdown. And the other bottom line, defense and special team points. Ohio State has 14 points off of defense and special teams.
And Michigan State will get the football as we start the second half, and it's raining a little harder now than it has been. Buckeyes will kick it off. Stoltz will be kicking. Renaud and Gary Scott are back to receive the kickoff. It remains a relatively comfortable night despite the wetness of it. It's not that cold is what I'm trying to say. It's still around just inside 50 degrees. Here's the kick. Of course, I'm not sitting out in it either. It's a 5-yard line. It is fumbled and finally picked up by Renaud. He comes back to the 25, and there Michigan State will go to work. Niall Diggs on the tackle. Swanee.
Well, Keith, Nick Saban was just agreeing with you guys in terms of how Ohio State had scored with him. He told me, scored against him. He told me coming out, he says, you know, defensively, we've got to match up and play a little bit tougher. We missed some assignments, he said, on covering the receivers. He said if we don't do a better job in our assignments, they'll just play pitch and catch all day long because they're too good to blow assignments on, Keith.
All right, Damian Hiram is in the ball game. Todd Schultz at quarterback. Cedric Irvin is lined up as the deep back. Garrett Gould is your fullback, and the ball goes to Irvin. And he is finally wrestled to a stop. Number 73, Joe Brown, and number 95, Jim Bell.
So look at some of the numbers in the first half. Schultz was only 4 of 12, 51 yards, and that one interception went for a touchdown. No completions to the wide receivers, and Irvin had 51 yards, and that's all the offense. You might point out that Irvin did miss catching that one pass in the end zone.
On 2nd down and 4, the Buckeyes take Irvin down short of the 35-yard line. They'll be looking at 3rd and about 2. Just getting underway in the second half of play. Michigan won today, won the Little Brown Jug from Minnesota, and Penn State escaped from Evanston by 3 points, 30-27 against Northwestern. And it's beginning to get a little soggy.
Yeah, this is not fun if you're an offensive player for the Spartans. You're down 18 points, and you got to catch up in the rain.
Trying for the first down, Irvin cuts it back, and he is knocked sharply to the ground on a tough tackle by Kevin Johnson. That's a nice linebacker out of Athens, Ohio.
Yeah, I like the call, Keith. Stretch it wide with your best running back, But Johnson just makes a nice play. There's a great kick.
Good coverage. I said Johnson was from Athens, Ohio. It's not so. He's from Athens, Georgia. Big difference. You can see now it's really raining. This is the hardest it's rained all day, I think. And it's Joe Germain coming out to start the second half for Ohio State. Joe was 11 of 14 in the first half, led that resurgence of the offense, as scored just before the halftime. So 24-6 as Germain sets him up for the first possession at the 19-yard line. Pepe Pearson. Oh, that's a pretty good lick put on him by Sorry Kanu, number 6.
First half for the Buckeyes, as you mentioned, Germain had a nice 11 of 14, 118 yards, a touchdown and an interception. Boston with 6 catches in the first half and a touchdown, and Pepe led the rushers. David Boston was all over the place. He's 6'3", 205 pounds, so he's a big target.
That carry by Pepe Pearson, tackled by Demetrius Underwood. Pickup is about 3 yards, and they'll be looking at 3rd down and 2.
The thing I like about Ohio State offensively is they have balance. They have balance in run and pass. They throw for more than they run for, and they don't rely on one guy. They don't rely on one running back. They've got Pearson and they've got Wiley, both dangerous. They've got 2 quarterbacks. They've got 3 or 4 wide receivers, 2 tight ends. They've got a lot of players to make plays.
3rd and 2. Pearson coming around the corner. That'll be enough. The blocking was led by number 23, Matt Keller.
Okay, John Cooper told me at halftime there were 2 things offensively he wanted to get done in the second half. The first one concerns his offensive line. He said, we're not being physical, getting our blocks on the offensive line. I asked him if it was the fact that Michigan State was doing anything differently. He says, no, we're just not being physical enough and getting to our blocks. He said the second thing is, if they're going to keep playing us man-to-man throughout the second half, then he is going to get the ball to David Boston. His best matchup he's looking for is number 9 against number 3, Keith.
That'll work.
Boston against Campbell.
Oh, that's almost intercepted by Amp Campbell there. It was intended for D. Miller. So
Campbell right there on the coverage, too. Ball was throwing a little late and a little high. Miller's going to run a little slant to the inside. Ball was thrown behind him and high. D. Miller has not caught a pass here today.
look at that. Mississippi State beat Auburn 20-0.
Boy, is that a shock.
Goodness. Becky Sherrill, have a glass of buttermilk tonight. Pounding into the middle. Pepe Pearson running in traffic right now.
Now, why do you say he'd have a glass of buttermilk instead of a...
Because he lives in Starkville, Mississippi, and that's what you drink in Starkville after a victory.
Not me, Hoss. I ain't drinking no buttermilk.
24-6. With 10 minutes and 40 seconds to play.
I ain't eating no rhubarb pie either.
3rd down and 6. Jermaine had time, hits Miller. Miller short of the first down. D. Miller is taken down by Sorry Kanu, who's out of Alexandria, Virginia. A yard short of the first down. Not even a yard, actually. Less than that, but it's going to be punt time for Mr. Bartholomew.
Sorry looks like he might be banged up a little bit.
It'll be the 3rd punt of the day for Bartholomew. He's at 38 and 47, and going back is Urban, number 33. You saw him there. Very dangerous. much of that one, did he? So he shanks it out of bounds at the 42-yard line of Michigan State, a 16-yard punt.
15 yards on the kick.
To get the most out of your digital satellite system, you need DirecTV. And for expert advice and guaranteed low prices on your new system, you need Circuit City. We're your DSS experts, and we'll show you how to see more sports, movies, and pay-per-view than on any other system. Right now, get $100 off professional installation or get a self-install kit free with any DSS purchase. Circuit City. You can't get a lower price. We guarantee it.
Meet Duke, cop. He loves his job. And the third door in his Chevy S10. It's one of a kind, just like Duke. Chevy S10, like a rock.
Strength, knowledge, and experience. That's the Pacific Life family of companies. Managing more than $150 billion in assets. Providing insurance and investment products for 130 years. Helping thousands of businesses and millions of individuals reach their financial goals. Use the power of the Pacific. Pacific Life.
This Tuesday,
You beat that girl.
you will feel everything they feel. It's the season's most emotional blue. All new ABC Tuesday.
Michigan State with good field position now out near the 42-yard line on their side of the field after a 16-yard punt by Bartholomew.
First down, Michigan State on the Sparty 42.
And first down with Irvin, the deep back. Schultz to throw. Deep drop, setting up a screen. Irvin chased down and caught by number 35, Jerry Rudzinski, the linebacker.
So look at Winfield. He's a cornerback. He's expected to cover guys, not make a lot of tackles. But tonight, he is making a lot. Katzenmoyer is a middle linebacker, expected to make a lot of tackles. But let's look at the comparison. Katzenmoyer, the middle linebacker, has 4 tackles tonight. Winfield, the cornerback who covers receivers, has 11.
Short pass is completed to Cedric Irvin. And Damon Moore, the safety, tracks him down.
And with those totals, Keith, those defensive totals, Winfield now leads the Buckeyes in total tackles on the season.
Third and long now, 3rd and 8 for Michigan State. Ball just beyond the 43-yard line. Irvin's wide out. Bucks show blitz. Katzenmoyer coming, gets in his face, gets after him, and takes him down. He took several down. That was a bull rush. He just went after him and got him.
Buckeyes do a lot of blitzing. 35 is Rudzinski. Katzenmoyer is 45, and he gets there for his first sack of the season.
Budge just couldn't stop him. Mudge is a young man from Ontario playing tackle. This time the kick is out of there. Knuckleball, forcing a fair catch call, and the penalty flag is thrown on number 20. He got too close to David Boston, so Octavius Long will give another 5 yards to the Ohio State Buckeyes. Time remaining in the 3rd quarter, 8:05, as they've exchanged punts now.
2-yard radius on the kicking team, 5-yard penalty, first down.
It's a 24-6 ball game, the Buckeyes leading.
The aluminum in your car radiator is as thin as this sheet, and it's the only thing between you and a breakdown. But Prestone antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming a zone of protection against corrosion and temperature extremes. Protect your car in the Prestone zone.
Thanks for the truck, Dad.
What'd you do?
Not much.
Where'd you go?
Kurt's?
You still talking about moving that old barn?
Nope.
The best long-term quality of any full-size pickup belongs to Chevy.
Is that a scratch?
Nope.
Chevy, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road.
The aluminum in your car radiator is as thin as this sheet, and it's the only thing between you and a breakdown. But Prestone antifreeze bonds with aluminum, forming a zone of protection against corrosion and temperature extremes. Protect your car in the Prestone zone.
Andy Katzenmoyer for the Ohio State Buckeyes wears number 45, and there's a lot of history of that number and a lot of history at the linebacker position that he has to live up to. You go back to 1974, to guys like 71, 73, Randy Gradishire played against him. Tom Kuznel, he's a guy who had a tremendous career. Then there was Pepper Johnson, who went on to be a great professional. And then right after that, Chris Spielman, who is an outstanding linebacker, and Katzenmoyer wants to be among those greats consistently throughout his career, Keith.
All right, 20, here's Stan Jackson back in the ball game at quarterback now in relief of Joe Germain, and we get a penalty flag thrown. It might be on this side of the field and on one of the Ohio State linemen. I think he might have bobbed ahead a bit.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Katzenmoyer certainly has a good start, Keith. In his first 2 seasons, he compares very favorably to all of those linebackers that played at Ohio State.
Of course, 45 was worn by another rather famous Buckeye named Griffin Archie. Jackson gives to Wiley. And Wiley is rustled down after a short gain. Kind of an interesting thing, though, and before the day's over, maybe we'll show it to you, that all of these Heisman Trophy winners at Ohio State, all 6 of those trophies and 5 people, all were led by great All-American offensive linemen.
Usually are, aren't they?
Yep. Like General Neyland said, touchdowns follow blocking just as surely as night follows day.
I've heard that one once or twice, hanging around with him over the years.
Jackson rolls and looks, and now he's got to run for his life. He took a lick and didn't get a whole lot out of it. Got a good block from Tyson Walter, and he's part of my story here because Tyson Walter is playing in front of Michael Wiley, who many think might eventually someday join that august class.
Now hold on there, Hoss.
That's Eddie George, who was the last one to win over there. Of course, he had Orlando Pace, but in every instance where there was a Heisman Trophy running back, there were great offensive linemen in front of them. Jim Parker, perhaps the most that you would recognize, but let me tell you something about that guy that played in front of Les Horvath, Bill Willis. Ooh-wee, you should have seen him. Jackson is shaken up and limping off the field.
Well, he was running what the Buckeyes have trying to get outside the pocket and throw the football. He's going to get hit high and low.
Yeah, he got double tattooed there. And Robert Newkirk was the man that looked like he might have fallen on the leg. So Stanley has to leave, at least for the moment. And on a cold, wet night, that doesn't help either.
Yeah, that's right.
So back comes Joe.
What Lynn was talking to Coop about, and Cooper said coming out, he said, we want to get some work on our offensive line. You know, everybody says, well, they've got enough points. The weather conditions aren't good. The offensive line is growing and growing and growing, and they need to continue to grow, and this is a good half to do it.
3rd and 8. They run a little draw up the middle out of the shotgun formation with Matt Keller. But they're going to call that play dead up at the line of scrimmage despite all that rolling around. And it'll bring up punting time for Ohio State. Here's Stanley Jackson trying to walk it off. It'll be the 4th punt of the night for Brent Bartholomew, who is from Apopka, Florida. Great soft ice cream there. 16 yards on the last punt.
It must have been some impressive ice cream to have a remember it like that.
Been there, done that. Hurry. Got it out. Good kick. No return on it as he knocks it out right at the 27-yard line of Michigan State.
New Chevy Blazer with the driver control system. A little security in an insecure world.
And over easy.
Take these back.
They're
over hard. Try again.
I think I liked you better smoking. He's quitting cold turkey.
Hey, I'm quitting myself. Can I suggest?
Nicoderm CQ. Does that help?
If it didn't, you'd be wearing these eggs.
With a 24-hour stream of medicine, Nicoderm CQ calms even nasty cravings. It's the power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to quit successfully.
You know what? I like you better not smoking.
Vacation travelers know that when it comes to renting a car, there's really only one place to go: National Car Rental. Especially if you're planning to go to the Walt Disney World 25th anniversary celebration. Because as the official car rental company of Walt Disney World, National gets you in your car and on the road fast. So what are you waiting for? Let's go to the Walt Disney World 25th anniversary with National Car Rental. But hurry, the celebration ends January 31st.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chili's Grill and Bar, home of the Big Mouth Burgers. By Microsoft, where do you want to go today? By Chevrolet Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. And MetLife. Get Met. It pays. As you saw, it's a bit of an untidy night now as the rain continues to fall ever so lightly but steadily, and the pass is underthrown a bit, and it's incomplete, intended for Octavius Long and defended by Antoine Winfield. Our crowd tonight is 74,903. They have sold more than 60,000 season tickets this year here at Michigan State, and under the leadership of the new athletic director, Merritt Norvell. Merritt came here in July of 1995, and of course Nick Saban came in December of 1994. So the whole group of them getting things together with the new basketball and all of that. Judd Heathcote having retired, an old college chum of mine. That game is out to about the 30-yard line, where it'll be third down coming up, and about 8 yards.
Nice new young coaches in this league.
Yes, they are. They really are.
You know, it started with Barnett, and then with Nick Saban and Joe Tiller down at Purdue doing a great job.
Yep. The ball got loose. And Schultz covers it.
Well, Keith, they're working on Stanley Jackson right now. They're putting a brace onto his left knee. They say it's only bruised. He was talking to the doctor, the orthopedic doctor who's working him on the sideline. It's the same left knee that he hurt before, but they just want to take the precautions of putting a brace on it, and then they'll see how he can go. He wants to go and go back into the ballgame, Keith.
Thank you, Swanee. That snap came back in a hurry.
If I were the head coach, he wouldn't come back in.
No, sir. That return by David Boston, short of about 3 or 4 yards. I'm laughing here because Kelly Hayes has left me a note that read, 4:35 to play in the third quarter. Next Saturday live at 3:30 Eastern, America's biggest road show. We're going back to Happy Valley. Michigan number 4, Penn State number 2. The leaves have all turned by now. There are the other games that are on our schedule next week. To check your local listing or call your cable operator for the pay-per-view choice in your area. Michigan and Penn State.
Big game, Pete. Big one.
Amen. This is Michael Wiley. Relatively conservative approach to things right now by Ohio State, leading 24-6 on a wet night.
This is one of the guys we'll see next week, Keith. Curtis Enos. At 100, what do you have? 153 yards today, I believe, at Northwestern.
They only won by 3.
That's so good.
He is a certified 18-wheeler.
Joe is not necessarily interested in pushing him for the Heisman. In fact, he hasn't played in the fourth quarter in many games.
That's a pass complete to Boston, who broke the first grasp and picks up a first down at the Michigan State 48-yard line. Good play by David. Joe wants him to come back.
Yeah, he wants him to come back. Paterno wants him back, but he also wants him fresh in the fourth quarter. And I remember the game that we did between these Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions over there. He was fresh in the fourth quarter.
Oh, was he ever. But he had Aaron Harris in front of him, too, which he does not have now.
That's for sure.
Boston now with 7 catches, 104 yards, and a touchdown. This is Keller escaping. And typical fullback. Matt gets up there where he can see somebody coming, and he knows he's close to the marker, so he puts that head down, drops that shoulder, and punishes. He's about a half a yard short of the first down.
That's the Ohio State section, all that red, it's up there. It's not hard to tell where the Ohio State fans, the faithful, are. They're over there in the corner of the end zone, all in red.
Second down, a short one. And they hand it inside to Matt Keller. And he runs over the top of Kanu, but Kanu got his man. He took him down anyway. Number 77, Tyson Walter, is raging about something. Don't get him too mad, folks. I mean, guys, he's 305 pounds.
Yeah. And you can't have a power offense unless you have a power runner, Keith. Joe Montgomery was injured last year and is coming back. But Keller, the last few runs of Keller, if that offensive line gets physical, it starts pushing people around. And Keller, the fullback, gets his inside game going. This offense will really be trouble for everybody.
I think the Spartans may be getting a little tired. Their offense has done nothing here in the second half. This is Pepe Pearson, and Pepe runs it across the 25 down to the 24.
But if you want to get your offensive line toughened up and more physical, Keith, this is a great way to do it. Running right ahead, right straight ahead, with your fullback and your tailback right inside the tackles. Here's a look. Walter is 77. Murphy 63, and 56 is Rob Murphy. Gilbert and Goldston is the right tackle. That's the unit that's in there now.
It's second down and 7 for the Buckeyes, and they're grinding along. Jermaine back, loops it out there. The ball is, oh my goodness. I mean, that's exposing your running back to serious potential of being dismembered. Holy cow, Pepe walks away from it, but he really took a lick.
But Joe threw this ball up because he had to throw it over the defensive lineman there, but you're right.
Amp Campbell just nailed it.
Well, Campbell's made a good play. You know, Jermaine had to throw it over the lineman, but Campbell saw it coming.
That'll make it a third down and 7. All just inside the 24-yard line of Michigan State. Inside 2 minutes to go now in the third quarter. penetration by number 37, Tyrone Garland, who took the legs from under Keller. And now here comes Stoltz and company. There was a loss on that play of about 5 yards, so it's going to make it a little longer than it might have been. Bartholomew standing out there around the 34-yard line, so it looks like a 44-yarder. Stoltz had a 55-yarder a couple of weeks ago. It's be 33 up now. I think it'll be a 43-yard try. After he kicked that 55-yard, he went out and almost whiffed the kickoff. He was so happy. Snap's good, placement's good, kick is up, and the kick is good. Funny how that goes. Good, good, good. Yep. 1:06 to go, third quarter. Now 27-6. At the conclusion of today's game, we will select the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player from each team. To date, Chevy awarding us about $6.5 million to the scholarship funds of America's colleges and universities. Story about George Webster. They were collecting some money for George, one of the greatest players in the history of college football. Not just Michigan State, but I guess pro football too. He's been a great player ever.
I had the misfortune of playing against him all 3 years when I was at Purdue and he was here at Michigan State, and then I had the continued misfortune of playing against him when I was with the Dolphins and he was with the Oilers and with the Steelers. And,
well, he's living down in Houston, I guess. But George has been battling cancer now for a long time. He's broke. He needs money. He needs help. He needs help from his friends, and his friends are responding. So if you'd like to get involved with it, there are people around here who can tell you how to do that in behalf of one of the great players and one of the great people, George Webster, who has fought a courageous fight against the ravages of cancer and just simply refuses to yield. So it's on the 23-yard line now for Michigan State with 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Florida was losing a while ago to Georgia, the Georgia Bulldogs. They're playing that game now. They're not in Jacksonville anymore. They're playing that up at Athens, Georgia, aren't they? No? They're still in Jacksonville? Gator Bowl? At the new stadium? I thought they were going to try to go campus to campus. This is Cedric Urban having a little trouble finding a place to go, and he can't, and he's going to lose a yard or so. But that's always been the world's biggest cocktail party down at the Gator Bowl in Jacksonville. And Georgia was leading, I saw early on in that ball game. Pretty good year for the Dogs. 6-1. Auburn got beat today. That's a bit surprising. I'll tell you what, though, Auburn over the last couple of weeks have been burning a lot of adrenaline. They've had some tough ball games. Schultz gets it away, throws the ball. It's intercepted by Damon Moore. And Moore's tackled around the 31-yard line. He threw the ball right between the hands of Andy Katzenmoyer, who was in his face. And then double coverage, and it's Moore who comes away.
They were fighting over the interception. It was like a couple of piranhas after the ball because two guys were there and could have picked it off. From behind the offense. That's just quickness. That's good quickness. Barry, number 1, and Moore, 13, will take you to the football.
Well, Gary Barry, he's found this fun going to the end zone. He wanted to go again, didn't he? Stanley Jackson is back at quarterback, so he shook off that injury, and he comes back. First down from the 31 of Michigan State. Jackson looks a little tender, though. His pass is thrown. Boston catches and gets away. Down close to the 15-yard line. And that'll do it for quarter number 3. After 3, Ohio State 27. Michigan State 6. Back after this word from our ABC station.
Burger King play of the day. Florida State against NC State. Thad Busby back to pass, scrambles around a little bit, back up near the line of scrimmage, and spots E.G. Green, who would take it 80 yards for the touchdown. The 25th time he's done this in his career, tying the record set by Barry Smith of the Seminoles in the 70s. Don't forget, next week, Florida State looking towards North Carolina on ESPN. Keith.
27-6, and the Buckeyes are knocking on the door again. It's first down at the Michigan 15-yard line with Stanley Jackson back in. They send Peppy Pearson in motion, leaving Keller in the backfield, and Matt's got it. Bumps it up the right side, inside the 5-yard line, close to the 3. Boy, old Matt's cranking it up now here in the fourth quarter against the defensive line, the defensive front for Michigan State that's just wearing down.
Well, Keller's a guy that usually gets all the dirty work, the blocking for the tailbacks, the picking up of the linebacker blitzes, you know, and then he's the afterthought. Oh, all right, if everybody's covered downfield, we'll throw him a little screen to help things out. It's 49 yards. You know that Cooper and Mike Jacobs are smiling because he's the fifth fork in the wheel of that offense.
Stanley Jackson's pass to David Boston. No. Covering on it was Ray Hill and knocks it down. Right in the corner of the end zone.
I'm looking forward to the matchup when Ohio State plays Michigan, and we see David Boston going up against Charles Woodson.
That'll be fun.
Huh?
Yep. I bet they're looking forward to it, too.
Got to come down. Yeah, it looks like he's got it, and his foot's in bounds, and he has possession.
No, he doesn't. He loses it.
Boy, sure, he loses it, but eventually, everybody loses it.
I don't know about you. Here's Peppy Pearson going into the end zone for the touchdown, and it's Matt Keller who threw the block that opened the door. If two officials standing down there 3 yards from it can't make the right decision, I'm going home.
Dan Stokes will attempt.
Well, Keller did a lot to get this ball down inside there, and he's going to do something. Murphy 56 gets a block, but so does Keller. And nobody touches Pepe on his way into the end zone.
Stokes for the point. Hauser will snap it. Bartholomew puts it down perfectly for Stokes. The kick is good. It's 34-3, and there's Matt Mom. He's having a heck of a game.
Coffee inside, can't explain, certain kind, can't explain. I feel hot and cold, can't explain. Lay down my soul, yeah, can't explain.
The competition can't explain how a car that broke all the molds still has enough power to keep blowing away the stereotypes. Ford Taurus SE Sport, now with a 200 horsepower Duratec V6. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Oh, hi, honey. Am I excited about Thursday? Of course, Thursday's our anniversary.
Of course I plan a trip.
Yeah, we're taking the Orient Express to Spot in Thailand for bird watching.
Love you too. Bye.
New Visa Platinum.
Did you go to Thailand?
With a world of purchase power for the unexpected, including that trip you never thought you'd take.
This was such a surprise.
Yeah. New Visa Platinum. It's everywhere you want to be.
A company most people never heard of is changing the way we fight cancer and kidney failure. By inducing the body to produce blood cells, chemotherapy and anemia patients are gaining new strength. Helping to grow blood cells helped Amgen become the world's largest biotech company. Where do you learn about companies with such pioneering spirit? Exactly. NASDAQ.com.
Monday, 2 knockout interviews. Mike Tyson's first interview since the Bite Fight. And slam dunk superstar Michael Jordan. A special sports primetime live Monday.
The Buckeyes are about to kick it off now. Michigan State trying to find some offense. I think the horse is out of the barn at 44-6 in the fourth quarter. Circling under it. Oh, Alphonse Gaston. Look out. Down at the 11-yard line. And the penalty flag. Mark Renaud and Gary Scott. You got it, I got it, nobody got it. And therein lies the tale.
Receiving team, half the distance to the goal.
See what I mean? On top of it, something else bad happens. So that'll back him up half the distance. Tomorrow live at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific. Final round coverage from the Champions Golf Club, the Cypress Creek course in Houston, Texas. Final stop on the 97 PGA Tour. Here's your leaderboard. Davis Love, Brad Braxton, Dave Duvall, and Bill Glasson all at 8. Scott Pope, Jim Furyk, Mark Calcavecchia at 6. And, of course, the winners of all 4 of the major championships, Tiger Woods, Ernie Els, Justin Leonard, and Davis Love, are in the tournament. Cypress Creek has been relatively unyielding. It's a good golf course. This is Leroy McFadden making his first appearance of the ball game. He is a sophomore from Eden Prairie, Ohio, 6'3", 235. He sprained his knee against Michigan and is making a very late appearance because of that sore knee.
Ohio State did a lot of good things, but here are some of the things that they did. Return a touchdown, interception for a touchdown, a block punt for a touchdown. Wouldn't allow Michigan State to run the ball in the second half. You know, Keith, we always talk about offense and we talk about defense, but the special teams are on the field for about 30 to 35 plays a game. And when you block a punt and run it in for a touchdown, you are going to win that ball game. They're just, I mean, there's statistics that prove that. And when you run back interceptions and you have a punter that is 6th in the nation like Ohio State has, and the punting game for Michigan State was 110th coming in. The special teams have a big factor, play a big factor in the outcome of these games.
Here's the try for the first down, and it's McFadden banging his way out for it past the 20 to near the 25-yard line. So fresh legs come into the game, albeit one of them sore, and he picks up a first down. You got 13 minutes remaining in the ball game, and that is the first. Now listen to this. That's the first down this half for Michigan State.
The Spartans have gone against a couple of pretty good defenses the last 2 weeks. The Buckeyes, as we mentioned, 2nd in the nation against the pass. And last week, University of Michigan defense, which is right up there also.
When Michigan, I know, had some McFadden with the ball again and getting a couple of yards. If Michigan and Ohio State play on the 22nd of November, right? Do you think anybody will score?
The defense might score.
Well, that's right, or special teams.
Yeah. Here's a look at the standings. Michigan and Penn State are undefeated in the conference. Ohio State is right there at 3-1, as Wisconsin and Purdue.
2nd down and 7. Irvin is back. And Cedric's got it, bouncing to the outside and bouncing right into the arms of one Mark Willis, who's had a pretty good day himself. He was the one who blocked the punt that produced the touchdown.
And after next week, there will only be one undefeated team in the Big Ten. The tiebreaker situation, you might be interested in knowing what the tiebreaker and how they decide it. The first thing is if 2 teams or more are tied, it's head-to-head competition. And secondly is overall record. And then third is who has not gone in the longest time.
Schultz pass is a beauty right into the arms of Irvin. And Cedric makes the catch and the run, produce a first down up near the 48-yard line. Next for Michigan State will be Purdue, and next for Ohio State will be Minnesota.
Flozell Adams, one of your top offensive linemen.
Better get your hands on the other side of him.
He's kind of got him wrapped up, doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. Of course, that Bailey is developing. He's a freshman out of Lakewood, Ohio, 6'5" and 260. He's becoming a load. We're going to play a lot. Look at this beautiful pass thrown downfield. It's incomplete. And no chance for the intended receiver to track that one down. And we're going to track down John Saunders right now.
Keith, and we'll track down Alabama, who's had a tough year under Mike DuBose his first year, facing Louisiana Tech. Tim Rattay, 49 yards to Troy Edwards. The score makes it 26-13, and Louisiana Tech hangs on for the victory, 26-20 the final. You can see what that's done for Alabama in non-conference.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, boy. At home.
The Red Elephants have been corralled. Schultz to the sideline, and it is incomplete. Ball is out of bounds. Receiver Octavius Long in the air, couldn't bring it down. It continues to rain, slow and drizzly type of stuff, but wetting everything. You see the water dripping off the helmets, off the chin and the elbows.
Schultz is 7 of 19, 71 yards, 2 interceptions, and he has yet to complete a pass to a wide receiver.
Washington doing a tap dance on USC in Seattle, 27-0. Third down and 10. Schultz's pass is deflected up in the air, intended for Renaud, and Ahmed Plummer was the man over to get his hands on it. And Gary Barrier said, "That gummit, wait till I get behind you. I can intercept that." That'll bring up another punt at 11:09 to play in the game. Big game in the Pac-10 tonight would be Washington State down at Tempe against Arizona State. That'll have a great deal of meaning in what happens out there in the chase to the Rose Bowl.
The Cougs.
Yep. Well, the Sun Devils aren't totally out of it either. That ball goes on into the corner. The time is on Washington's side, though, insofar as anybody else is concerned, because they handled the Sun Devils. 52 yards on that punt.
They were really growing up fast, too fast. All Kelly talked about was going to high school, and all I could think about was paying for college. Sure, I played around with a few mutual funds, but I was no expert. So I started talking to someone who could help, a broker at Dean Witter.
We must plan for our clients' future as if it were our own.
Funny, kids think their parents always have the right answers. I'm just making sure I do.
We measure success, one investor at a time.
You don't need binoculars to see why Escort is so popular. It's a value so enticing, it's like getting cake with extra icing. You can get power, lots of power, power galore, to whisk down the windows and unlock the doors, adjust the side mirrors, but wait, there is more. Opt for a remote, AC, a smooth automatic, and a CD player for the music fanatic. And if that's not enough, you can get an anti-theft system to protect this good stuff. The buck starts here for Escort Thrills, somewhat higher, loaded to the gills.
ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? By National Car Rental. So what are you waiting for? Let's go. By Dean Witter. There are many ways to measure success. Dean Witter measures success one investor at a time. And by Nike. We have the third quarterback of the night in the game for Ohio State, Mark Garcia, a junior from Modesto, California. Big guy, 6'4", 215, pretty good arm on him. And he's going to check it out right now. Going down the sidelines, it's Rembo. It is intercepted by Amp Campbell. So, he's beaten, battered, and sore all over, but he continues to play a terrific ball game.
Mark Garcia gets in for his first play of the game, and they want to go deep. Reese, number 44, the best defensive player on this ball club, gets in his face a little bit. It's a nice play by Campbell. Keeps his eye on the ball. Rambo, the true freshman, needs to make sure that that ball is knocked loose. Don't let the defensive man protect your quarterback and knock the ball out at least.
So from the 42-yard line, Michigan State will go back to work with Leroy McFadden back in the ball game, and he's going to pick up the better part of 5 or 6 yards on that carry. Now for the Home Depot coaches fact. Nick Saban, defensive coordinator for the 1988 Rose Bowl team, George Perlis's team, second-ranked defense of the nation. They were undefeated in the Big Ten. And from there, he went on to become the head coach at Toledo, where they were 9-2, then 4 years with the Cleveland Browns, and then he came to the head job here at Michigan State. And tonight's score and game notwithstanding, has done a very good job. Got a good coaching staff. They're well in place.
He's turned this program around very nicely, Keith.
They'll be heard from.
Yes.
That's McFadden carrying the ball. 3rd down and 2 coming up. You can't go out like you used to and find yourself 200 and sort them out. Can't do that anymore.
He had a lot of starters returning, Michigan State. A lot of them on defense. 9 starters on defense. And Flozell Adams and Scott Shaw, 2 linemen, 2 of the best in the conference at least, coming back on that left side. They just couldn't replace their wide receivers, and that's where they've had problems. They can't get the ball out on the flanks. They don't have any wide receivers that can get open.
Well, that may or may not be a first down. We'll just have to simply wait and see what Jack Teets and his folks decide, and they've decided we go forward. First down.
As you look at Flozell, they call him Flozell the Hotel.
There are times, though, when he tends to stand up instead of drive forward. And part of it may be the fact that he hurt his ankle in the very first game of the season.
I think that was a factor. Whenever you're 330 pounds, 6'7", and you hurt an ankle, it takes you a while to get over that.
Well, they've got the hammock so he can rest, but they don't have trees big enough to hold it.
Well, Keith, you know, you and Bob are talking about Flozell Adams. You're also talking about Nick Saban and what his staff and what he brings to this team. You know, one of the things he did, he brought in Ken Manny, who is our strength coach. And he has done a remarkable job with Flozell Adams. Taking into consideration, in 1995, this is Flozell's weight, 366. And look how much he benched, the reps he did at 225, and then his vertical jump at 23 inches. But 2 years down the road, in 1997, look at the remarkable improvement by Flozell Adams. And this is a result of great training.
That's a touchdown, Swanee. Gary Scott makes a great catch.
He must have been in the weight room too, Keith.
Probably was. He made a great catch over Ahmed Plummer. Plummer had pretty good coverage on him, but I'm not sure he saw the ball. And while the drummers take a shower,
they're having fun.
Michigan State scores a touchdown. Chris Gardner for the extra point.
There's Adams and Shaw, 76 and 73 on the protection. Doing a nice job, allowing plenty of time for the quarterback to set up and just throw it as far as you can.
Now, Plummer didn't know where the ball was,
Yeah,
did he?
never saw it.
So the kick is good, and at 8:57 to play in the ball game, it's 34-13.
Let's see. It says here you're lazy, highly unmotivated. You have a problem with authority.
Yeah, I've got 2 references that proves that.
Well, the only thing I can say is, you demand. You demand.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down, make it a Bud Light.
Technically, I can't give you a raise yet.
You're right, policy, schmolicy.
Hey, Max. Why just sit around when you can have fun in the new Ford CX-2?
Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide. Everywhere I go, your face I see. Every step I take, you take with me. Nowhere to run to, baby. Nowhere to hide.
Ford ZX2. Grab life by the wheel.
Max?
Sing too when you try Chili's Ranch and Filet. A beautifully carved 8-ounce tenderloin, slow grilled to perfection and placed on awesome blossom strings. Served with skillet potato cakes and grilled veggies, only at Chili's.
A 34-13 ball game right now, and Ohio State's got all the good hand folks up on the front. They're expecting onside kick from the Michigan State Spartans. It's a little bloop dropped in no man's land and picked up by Big John Lumpkin. Run, John. And he's taken down at the 23-yard line. Tom turned around and said, what have I got? What am I going to do with this? And it's first down for Ohio State. 8:49 to play, and Monday, two very different interviews. Special Monday Primetime Live, Michael Jordan and Mike Tyson. And then you've got Cordell Stewart and first place Pittsburgh against the Kansas City Chiefs on ABC's Monday Night Football. I hope they've had their flu shots.
Have you?
Yes. Have you?
Yes, I have.
No, okay. We're going to get substitutes galore into this ball game from here on out, I suspect. Joe Montgomery, who has come off of a severe knee injury a year ago. Joe, number 33, is that power running back that Ohio State wants. And if they can get him in tune and really running hard by the end of the month, they'll be very, very happy because they're going to need it down the road.
Yes, they are. They never have enough running backs, Keith. Enough good ones.
Van Esprobit is in the ball game at a wide out, a freshman out of Warren, Ohio now, number 83. He's another burner. Inside play goes to the Sean Penny at fullback. Sean Penny is another freshman. Pretty good sized fella at about 212 pounds. And it's a first down for Ohio State.
Take a look at the national situation, Keith. The key remaining game. Nebraska probably has the easiest way to go of anybody. Only has to go to Colorado. I think Michigan probably had the toughest schedule of anybody, other maybe than Florida State.
No, Florida. No.
Huh?
Michigan had the toughest schedule.
Well, yeah, everybody gets a vote. North Carolina has Florida State at home. Florida gets Florida State at home, but Florida, are they still losing that ball game to Georgia? We'll find that out for you.
Look at this, slipping through the hole on the left side. It's Penny. And Penny's going to run for another Ohio State first down. All right, here's a tired defensive team. It's 34-13. It's 7.5 minutes to play on a cold, wet night. And fresh legs come in, and they're going to get yards and experience. A little pepper and paprika here, and the first thing you know, you got a seasoned running back. A little knot here and a tattoo there, and you know, you come out of high school, you may be a big dog on the little farm, but you come up to this level, and you haven't been hit like this before. And then you go to Sunday, and it's, oh my goodness, all over again.
Slow down, Hoss. I can't comprehend all this stuff. I'm still back with a small dog on a large farm.
Joe Montgomery. And a big run for Joe. Robbins, Illinois. Finally hunt him down, but not before he gets inside the 25-yard line.
Oh, that's good to see. Montgomery, who hurt his knee out all last season, getting more and more confidence as he gets to play in these games.
Slashing guy. You better get him solid or you won't get it.
Just got word that Georgia is up 24-17 with about 6 minutes to go on Florida.
Wow. Timeout at 7:06 to play.
You can keep your car looking clean, but you've got to keep your engine clean too. Newly formulated Valvoline DuraBlend motor oil is a synthetic blend that suspends the dirt, unburned fuel, and water that cause harmful deposits and reduces oil burn-off. DuraBlend protects vital engine parts, so your engine runs cleaner and better longer. It outperforms all leading conventional motor oils. because a car can look great, but it's what's inside that counts. Valvoline Durablend.
Got a feeling inside, can't explain, certain kind, can't explain. I feel hot and cold, can't explain. Head down my soul, yeah, can't explain.
Our competition can't explain why they keep playing follow the leader. But then again, they've been doing it for so long, maybe it's just become habit forming. Ford Taurus. Now that explains everything. Have you driven a Ford lately?
Before planning your next getaway, call Thrifty Car Rental at 1-800-4CARS. We're right in your neighborhood with great rates on great cars. For a limited time, rent a compact car for only $29.95 a day. But at that price, they're going fast. So call Thrifty now at 1-800-4CARS or your professional travel agent. It's quick, it's easy, and best of all, it's thrifty.
7:06 to go in the ball game, 34-13. It's been a dominating performance from the closing 2 minutes of the first quarter. Ohio State, with its defense exploding for 2 touchdowns, they took control of the game, and they've had it ever since. And the Buckeyes now with Joe Montgomery running very well, but this time he'll take a loss as Mike Austin, the middle linebacker, comes in to knock him down for the loss back at the 30-yard line.
We talked a little bit about Curtis Enos for Penn State and some of the things that he can do. Charles Woodson is a key player for the University of Michigan. 5 interceptions, leads the Big Ten. Has 6 receptions for 130 yards, 2 rushing, and he had scored a reverse on a reverse today for a touchdown. So he's going to be all over the field, Keith. He is an outstanding player.
Both those teams, however, have lost very good people. Penn State losing Aaron Harris, the fullback, and Michigan losing Eric Mays, an inside linebacker. 2 very good players. But injuries are part of the game. Pass is completed to Derek Warnicki.
Look like you got progress, huh?
He's inside the 20. He's short of his first down. Curtis Enos, in case you're curious, went for 153 yards in the Northwestern game for Penn State today.
Next week is a big weekend. We'll be there. Huh? Michigan and Penn State.
They're calling it Judgment Day, and it is of a sort in the Big Ten, certainly.
And in the ACC, it's certainly Judgment Day with number 3, Florida State, and number 5, North Carolina.
It's 3rd and 5, and here's a pass to the corner for Rambo. That's the second time the ball's been thrown to him. It was intercepted before, and this time it was Lamar Marshall going back to defend on the play.
That's almost Cooper saying, hey, do you know this guy, Rambo, number 4, is a true freshman, so therefore you get no respect? You know, it's almost like if David Boston was there, the official would have said, hey, he's a good player, we show him the flag, but Rambo, he hadn't been around long enough. We ain't giving it to him.
Probably felt it wasn't a catchable ball by him. It's not if you hog tie him, you won't let him go do it. That kick is good from 38 yards by Dan Stokes, and that makes it a 37-13 ball game.
To you, it looks like this. To a car thief, it looks like this. And to our Ford Motor Company engineers, it looks like one of the most powerful anti-theft devices ever. Only this key sends an electronic code to the engine before it will ever start. So it looks like your new Taurus will be just where you parked it. Ford. Quality is job one.
America has always had a love affair with cars. And since 1922, we've been there whenever you've needed us. That's why we're America's favorite auto insurer.
And as we celebrate a 75th year, We, the agents
and employees of State Farm,
would just like to say thanks for being there, too.
Hi, I'm expecting a fax.
Room 212 wants the ammunition to deal with her toughest clients.
Nothing? Hi, Davies, 212. I called earlier.
Right, fax. It hasn't come yet.
I need it for a meeting.
Excuse me, Miss Davies? Just came in.
Thank you so much. Good morning, everyone.
Business services by Marriott. When you're comfortable, you could do anything.
Buckeyes have been doing this a lot tonight. It's 37-13 ball game. They're kicking off to Michigan State. That's a good kick going into the end zone, 2 yards deep. And here comes Mark Renaud. And he's still coming. And he's coming all the way out to the 34-yard line. Tomorrow live at 2 Eastern, 11 Pacific, the final round coverage of the 1997 PGA Tour's final event, the Tour Championship. There is so much money in this, they had to get a 2-horse wagon to haul it to the club. And you've got 4 people in an 8 under par tied for the lead. So that'll be tomorrow here on ABC.
The guy that finishes last, did I hear somewhere he gets $60,000?
Something like that, a lot. That's why those guys played so hard.
Just for getting into
Get
it.
in, yeah. Billy Andrade sent, was it McGee? Andy McGee got in because he beat out Andrade by $5.
Less than $10, yeah.
Yeah, and it was $4.25 to be exact. And he sent him a fax and said, "Congratulations, good luck. You owe me $5."
Yeah, I don't blame him.
Number 16, Bill Burke, is now in at quarterback. He's a left-handed sophomore out of Warren, Ohio. Sort of a lanky fellow. Passes away, and it's incomplete. Thrown away down the sidelines. LaVale Richardson was down under it, but not being 9 feet tall, could not catch it.
Keith, I can't say enough about John Cooper and the job that he has done in losing all of the players that he lost from last year's team, defensively and offensively, and then coming back and then doing the 2-quarterback thing where he knows he's going to get a lot of criticism and controversy created in the press and by the fans. They all think they know more than the coaches. Well, the coaches are with these guys all the time, so there is not a controversy amongst the players. But Reese has done a marvelous job with this team.
Niall Diggs, that linebacker, came looping around, and suddenly there was nobody there but the quarterback. And old Niall said, "Ooh, look at this." And he got the sack. Oh, somebody forgot to go protect on that side, and Michigan State now will have to punt away on 4th down. Gary Berry, still looking for touchdowns, is standing back on the 30-yard line.
He has 2.
Spoiled it. One night, they spoiled it. Probably won't get to return that one because it's going to, look at that 3rd bounce. It really took off, and he went all the way down to about the 11-yard line.
He thought about jumping in there for a second.
He sure did.
Here's a look at Ohio State's remaining games. Next week, they're at Minnesota, and then they host Illinois at home, and they should be able to take care of those 2. And then the big one in Ann Arbor on November 22nd.
I'm sorry you folks missed the geriatric 6 tonight. You missed something that was really fun. But our producer, Jay Rothman, did not show you the geriatric 6. I'm trying to get some airtime from pals.
Are we going to see the geriatric 6? Is that what you're saying?
I hope so. First down. 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go. This is Derek Combs, number 43, carrying the ball, and he gets up across the field. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Knock me down, baby. That's Dr. Maury Crane on clarinet, That's Dr. Bill Faunce on trumpet. That's Dr. Walter Kelly on the flugelhorn. Dr. Milt Powell keyboards. Don Thornburg trombone. Dr. Jim Smith on the bass. Dr. Marty Margaret on the drums. And normally Doug Weaver, who was one time the athletic director here at Michigan State, would be with him on the banjo. But I didn't see Douglas, so he must not have made it in the rain.
Do you have to be a young doctor to be in that group?
No, sir, you got to be retired. They're all retired. I think all of them are. They come from the MSU Voice Library, the Sociology Department, Veterinary Medicine, American Thought and Language School. Dr. Jim Smith is retired from the music department at Jackson Community College. Dr. Marty Marger's out of sociology, and they have more fun than anybody. But I wanted old Doug Weaver to be here because I'll borrow in Willie's old song. You can't play a sad song on a banjo, even if your team is getting beat 37-13.
You can't play a sad song on a banjo.
You can't. Try it.
What was the Troubadours? Wasn't that group out at Penn State?
Tailgate Troubadours, yep.
Yeah. But they've, tell you what, we couldn't walk in that stadium without stopping there with the horse to listen to the Tailgate Troubadours.
This is Derek Cohn running the ball and running out for a first down for Ohio State. And we're in the process of running out the clock and putting this game in the history book, and it's going to go to the Ohio State Buckeyes. They were, what, 9-4, I think, coming up here. And then 10-4. You know, Dr. John Hanna was the man that was so influential in getting Michigan State University into the Big Ten. And lo and behold, here comes Biggie Munn. The first year that they're in the Big Ten, Biggie wins it. Goes west and wins the Rose Bowl game, 28-20 over UCLA. The last time they went to the Rose Bowl, it was George Perlis took them out there. Nick Goins is now in at fullback. And tempers are getting a tad tacky down there.
You talk about Rose Bowl, Keith, how this conference has changed. Remember when it was the Big Two and the Little Eight?
Yep.
And Ohio State or Michigan was going every year, every other year, it seemed like. Well, the Big Ten has sent a different representative each of the last 5 years. And that, you talk about having some diversification in your conference and representing the Big Ten in the Rose Bowl.
Yep.
And it's got to be good for the conference and great for the Rose Bowl. And the same is true for the Pac-10. The Pac-10 has had 5 different representatives these last 5 years.
Second down and 8 for the Buckeyes, and Garcia's pass is intercepted, remember, and Omar, he wants to hang one on the wall before he goes home tonight. Time permitting, we invite you to stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report featuring scores and highlights from around the country. That'll be following our telecast. I guess most everybody remembers Duffy, of course. Duffy was the defensive line coach under Biggie Munn. They used to call his bunch Duffy's Toughies, and they were. And Duffy ascended to the head coaching job here at Michigan State and did pretty well. 19 seasons, he won 109 games. Not bad. And produced some of the greatest players in the history of college football. This is Derek Holmes being trapped short of the line of scrimmage and taken down with 1 minute and 15 seconds left to play. Some of the other people who played for and coached here that you might know, Frank Cush, of course. Frank was honored today here at halftime. Dan Devine, Bob Devaney was an assistant coach here. There's Dan. He was here in the 50s, and Bob Devaney in the 50s, and Bob went on to become a Hall of Fame coach at Nebraska. Chuck Fairbanks, head coach at Oklahoma, New England, and Colorado. We lost Chuck too soon, much too soon. But
so true.
Time ticking away here in the ball game. And let me tell you about some of the folks who were with us before we leave you. Tony Tortorisi, coordinating producer of ABC's College Football. Today's game produced by Jay Rothman, directed by Chip Dean. Our technical director was Gary Larkins, associate producer Margaret Schaefer, associate director Fred King, Lynn Cadden, our production manager, our technical operations manager Jim Licata, assistants to the producer Chapman Downs and Jason Lewis, statistician Mark Ametto, spotter Kelly Hayes. Our computer stats, Craig Rothberg. Sideline coordinator Dick Schefter. College Football Today, produced by Charles Copeland. College Football Today, directed by Calvin Haywood. Our technical director there, Gary Boyarsky, and the coordinator, Bruce Clark. Here's the punt by Bartholomew. They knock him down, and that's a penalty flag out of the pocket of the referee. So they have run into the kicker, but Ohio State probably will be content to let him have the ball down at that end of the field and go to the clubhouse. Let's see what they decide. Are they going to accept the penalty, or are they going to decline it? John says decline it. Let's get out of the rain. And that's what they'll do.
First down, Michigan State.
The Chevrolet most valuable players of the game are for Ohio State, Gary Berry. He had one interception for a touchdown and one blocked punt return for a touchdown. And for Michigan State, Ike Reese, 14 tackles on the day for Ike. Chevrolet donating $1,000 to each school's general scholarship fund to reward outstanding students for their academic achievements and give them a helping hand. It's a Chevy tradition. Here's the pass. Let's go deep for Richardson, and it is incomplete. And Bill Burke went back on the back foot and threw a rocket. Threw it about, what, 50 yards, didn't he? 55 yards.
Coop says, let's get out of here, boys. It's getting wet, and I'm getting cold.
We're down to the last 5 seconds of the ball game. Lynn Swan has endured again on the sidelines. We appreciate his dogged tenacity.
Yes, and I have my flu shots, too, Keith.
You more than anybody need
You're going to need them.
I don't know what I look like, but I feel like a wet rat.
Burke throws, pass is caught by the tight end, Josh Kerr. And Josh rumbles along, and time expires. And the game is done. And we thank you for joining us. Bob Greasy wishes you all a very good night. I'm Keith Jackson. We'll see you from Happy Valley next Saturday, Michigan, Penn State.
Tuesday on ABC. It's a big night for home improvement.